Hey guys, welcome to this edition of Off the Cuff. I want you to check this out. Now, on the surface, these two leg irons, these are leg irons by the way, they look nearly identical, don't they? My goodness, yes, they both take obviously a teeny tiny key. They both have the same shape, same kind of teeth, same locking mechanism, and the same way to carry them around unlocked. And then they have this little arming button, click, that makes them lock. But there's a few differences. Number one is the type of chain. See? And number two, one of these is older than the other considerably. These were made by Cobb. These are the Bean Cobb leg irons, also called Bean Improved leg irons. And these were patented in May of 1899, and I'm going to show you close-ups. Later on, what happened was H&R bought out the manufacturing rights, and they used all the same machinery. Everything was identical, except they stamped it with their stamp. Isn't that cool? And they changed the chain. So yeah, today we're going to look at the Bean Cobb cuffs, invented by Lyman, I think his name was, Cobb. They were patented 1899, like I just said. And they came in leg iron size and handcuff size. I always like these. These are, you know, like, they were advertised as pretty much a lighter version of the Bean cuffs. And that was their selling point, that they pretty much miniaturized them so that, you know, they're not as cumbersome, and the lock mechanism, you can see that it's a circular thing here, goes straight through. Well, basically they added a screw on the top, and what you could do is if the lock became damaged, you could unscrew that, take out the lock, repair it or replace it, put it back in, and it would save you money in the long run. So that was one of their big selling points. Apparently you have to be very careful when you do that. I've never attempted it, you know, because none of mine are actually broken, thank goodness. And I don't know, it seems like you can easily put them out of alignment, I've heard. There's pros and cons to it, I guess. But anyway, that was one of the things that they decided to make as a selling point. So, like I said, these are made in 1899, and they were used quite extensively all across the country, and for quite a while as well. I think I bought a pair from the estate of a cop who was active in the 40s. So it was like a grandfather. I forget the story, but I remember getting a pair of these that a cop actually used, I think, up to the 40s. That was in rural Pennsylvania, so you never know. And then later on still came the tower beans. I think I did an episode of these before. These are really shiny. This is my best pair. You know, from a quick glance, they're pretty much identical to the Bean Cobbs. They totally enclose the lock here. It's a barrel key, and the arming button, instead of being right by the keyhole, is up here. Got that neat cross hatching that I like. So you basically push the button, it arms it, and then you can lock them. These keys, by the way, are a real pain because they take really teeny tiny bits and they're easy to break off. I know whenever I find a barrel key that fits, I buy it so that I have, you know, can make a spare key, because it's very easy to ruin the key when you're filing it. You got to be very careful because it's so teeny, and it's a double bitted key because there's two sets of teeth. I was also been fortunate enough to be able to get original keys to these guys. You can see it's extremely teeny tiny little bumps. Just just like that, and it's extremely skinny too. And this one, the leg iron key is too thick to fit the handcuffs, which is a good thing in my opinion, because that way you don't get them as confused, and it's a little bit sturdier. But you can tell it's extremely skinny little teeny tiny key. Let's click these things and make them work. Ready? And if you look inside with a bright light, you can see the paws come down. Click. And there's one more interesting thing about the bean cobs before we go to the close-ups. That is, when you open them up, there's numbers. The parts are actually numbered in each set, each pair, and they're different numbers, which is pretty cool. I like that it's hidden there. So what you might want to do, and what I'm going to do, is write down all the numbers on these cuffs or take photos. So, you know, if anybody ever is stupid enough to try and steal one from me, I can actually identify it that way. So how cool is that? So basically, I just wanted to let you guys know that there's a difference between H&R cuffs and the bean cob cuffs. There's subtle differences, but it's just something else that's kind of cool about collecting cuffs, because you could buy a pair of Cobb, what you think is a pair of one cuff, and end up getting a pair of the other, you know? Yeah, as far as leg irons go, I actually have 2.5 pairs, because the one pair, the lock is totally destroyed. Somebody actually got like a chisel and tried to chisel it out. Well, that does it for this edition of Off the Cuff, and I just have some good news. I ordered a new cabinet for the handcuffs. It should be here in a matter of weeks, they said. It's basically what I did was I went to a hardware place and bought a rolling tool chest. You'll see it when I get it, because I just bought one so far. It's definitely not going to hold all the cuffs, but I just went with one so far because I want to see how I like it before I commit to getting more of the same kind. Because they came with different configurations of drawers, but I tried to get one with as many, small drawers as possible, nothing deep. And apparently you can add on to it. You can buy units that sit on top of it too. So I can't wait for that to get here, and that way I can start transferring all the cuffs into it. And I've already started with the drawers, putting some of my antique escape artist prints and different magic items in there, like the big newspapers and the big prints. That basically, that's what that thing was designed for anyway. It wasn't designed to hold the weight of the cuffs. So anyway, that's the news. So please stay safe, and hey, don't forget to go and check out my merch site. You might want to pick up a t-shirt or two, or some stickers or something. All right, we'll see you all next time.